Everybody. I think they actually misunderstood my order and gave me 2 soups. Whatever, I love soup. I'll take it. So I've ordered egg drop soup, some lobster ragoon, and lettuce wraps. Chicken lettuce wraps. No rice. No lo mein. Because I don't need that in my diet. Right? How do I open this shit? I need this to open. Here we go. Alright, I got a spot. We will start with my egg drop soup. So basically, when I'm watching these girls shove their faces full of food, I'm wondering, why don't you stop when you're full? I stop when I'm full. Right? Doesn't make sense to me. So there's a lot of tea being spilled in girl world today, mostly because of Alexis. She's releasing DMs and stuff about things that we really don't need to know about, but you know, okay, girl. I love this egg drop soup. It's so good, you guys. If they gave me 2 portions of it, I might not get through most of the main meal. The egg drop soup just, it's so soothing on my throat. It's not like too salty or anything. It's got some little vegetables in it, like carrots. Some onions. And of course the egg. Have you ever seen this made? I've seen it made before. You drizzle an egg into the soup so that it gets this fluffy consistency. Very yummy. Yeah, there's carrots. How's everybody doing today? I know there's constant drama going on, especially with Alexis. She's venting everything right now. She's very sad. This is a woman who probably wanted to have a relationship with Amberlynn. And either had second doubts or got rejected. And now, hell hath no fury, what is it called? Hell hath no fury greater than a woman's scorn. I think that's the saying. So Alexis is out there burning hell. Fine by the rest of us. The memoir Juice, standing comedy. I don't have any juice right now. Actually, juice kind of upsets my stomach. But a lot of the other reaction channels are covering Alexis's recent dump of DMs. And I don't know that she has permission to do this. Some of them are between her and Eric, of Eric and Ricky, and she's dumping those. I don't know that she got permission to do that. Alexis says she's like her best friend, the greatest friend ever. Is that the kind of friend you would want on your side? Somebody who would make judgment about your actions and then decide to freeze frame, position, decide her own context for everything she's releasing. Talking about serial episodes. What serial episodes? What are you talking about? Let me silence my phone. They're going to want a bunch of surveys from me after I eat my meal. And they're already hitting me up for it. I'll tell you, egg drop soup, manna from heaven. Very tasty. I had a great time last night doing karaoke. If you haven't seen those videos, you should check them out, especially the first one. Okay, the memoir. Well, just try and maybe listen more than respond. Unless you're asking for a specific clarification rather than giving me something very random like that. You know? Oh, so good, you guys. I hope I'm not making too many slurping noises. I just really love this soup. I'm really surprised they sent me 2 portions of it. That basically obligates me to eat it first because with the egg in it, it's the least likely to keep if I have leftovers, you know? I'll go back to their review and say, I only asked for one. Looks like they have corn in here too, but not a lot. You know, Amberlynn, Chantal, if you fill yourself up with something like soup or salad first, wait that 20 minutes till your digestive recognizes that you've eaten, then you're not going to pound down as much. It would help your diet. Do they have programs, the memoir, where you can put me in subtitles and have it translate? Have you looked into that? Round one done. All right, let's see what this other one is. I think it's probably a second order, which I did not order too. But if it is, I will nail it. Because it's not going to keep. This other stuff will keep. Yep. This is a second order. Interesting. Okay, so this is my second round of egg drop soup. Very tasty. Lots of carrots. There's bits of corn in there. They're not al dente, but they're not totally soft either. And there's little bits of onion in here too. I'm sure within the next 48 hours, Chantel's going to want to have Chinese. She loves watching my live streams. But she doesn't ever eat anything noteworthy or from a decent restaurant. It's always like mall Chinese. This is so tasty, you guys. So good on the back of my throat. You know, I think Tommy needs to hook up with Eugenia Cooney. Emily needs to hook up with Eugenia Cooney. That's somebody who needs some food. She shouldn't be approaching death fats and trying to encourage them to get worse. When she first started dating her late ex, she was already bedbound in a convalescent home, 900 pounds. She put on 130 some odd pounds in the time she was dating Emily. Yeah, we don't want to talk about the dead, but there's that. Isn't that a convenient excuse? Don't talk about the dead, especially if I had a hand in it, right? That chick is so gross. I don't know if I agree with Alexis's opinion that she's fat per se. I mean, I saw the pictures. She seemed well proportioned, but I don't think that's the problem with her. I think we all know what the problem with her is, right? It's been so hard to charge my phone during this heat wave that I left it on the charger in my bedroom and started watching the Olympics. That's how desperate I became. I saw women's volleyball, like the beach volleyball, and I saw horseback riding where they were going over gates. And swimming. It took hours to recharge my phone. And that was simply by doing that React video yesterday morning. That zapped up all the battery out of my phone. Mom is shaping hillbilly gal. Deke Dickerson also is in a punk band. I forget what they're called. But he's in a punk band too. They don't come out as much as his main band, which is Deke Dickerson and whatever. I can't remember what he says about his band. Trying to readjust my pillow. Oh. That feels a lot better. All right, let's get back to it. Now, when you're eating, it's not a race. It's a time of pleasure. So you get as far as you can with your time of pleasure, and then you wrap everything up and stick it in the fridge. But unlike Chantel, I don't need to scarf my meal down in 8 minutes. I'm still on the soup stage, girl. Alright. I don't know why they sent me to, but they did. Peachy just has some sweet cold watermelon. Took my time to enjoy it, as you well should. I have some watermelon in the fridge too. Um, it was part of my grocery haul from yesterday. I got watermelon, pineapple, and grapes, and some 2% um, milk, and some lean cuisines. I felt like that was all I really needed. Dabbling in the wind, what's your secret to being happy? To let go of stress, right? If somebody's being super stressful to you in life, um, I know it's hard because you probably have the feels and everything for the person, but you basically have to identify that they're being toxic and just let go of it. And so, as I've learned this over the last few months, because my ex boyfriend keeps drunk dialing me at like 2 in the morning, I realize he is toxic. And despite the fact that I've asked him not to do that, he continues to do it, which is a power move on his part, right? So I am not responding because I know that when he texts me and is like, I was just checking to see if you got your door fixed the day before his birthday. Oh, I'm sure that's what it was about. I think that you were probably looking for birthday greetings and trying to rub your birthday celebrations in my face, right? His expectation is that I'm going to rage. I'm going to freak out because I've already talked to him several times about not calling me in the middle of the night. Don't call me past 11. Only during business hours, bro. I think these are lobster ragoons. So here's how you eat them. I know Foodie said she's never had these before. You clinch up two sides here. You dip in these sides. You eat these sides first. I'm not a lesbian dabbling in the wind. And no, I don't play the field. I almost never date. It is very rare for me to date. Okay, so continue education, Chantal. If you know that this particular container is not going to be shared, it's yours, right? Then you can double dip, right? So you double dip in, get the body, which has all of the cream cheese and the lobster and everything else in it. What are you here for, dabbling in the wind? I'm not here to judge on people. I'm still mourning leaving a 30-year friendship. She has become more toxic since high school. I couldn't take her abuse anymore. Happened about 2 months ago. You know, that shit happens. I'll be real with you. I've had to give up old time friendships because they either moved in a different direction or produced a level of condensation, not condescension, that was just not doable, you know? And in this case, it was both. This was a friend of mine who was an atheist in high school, decided to become a fundamentalist Christian and start preaching all over me. And I'm like, literally, I grew up Catholic and I have more religious experience than you. So you can cool your heels right now. But she thought she was so superior to me because she was older than me. Not more educated, because she was not college educated like I am. She just thought, well, I got a year and a half on her, so I must be smarter than her. Dabbing in the wind. You're done. I don't know why people come onto other people's channels, think that they can act rude and not face any consequences. Not acceptable. I almost wonder if that was a Chantel sock. Because I get so many of them. And I was responded to. I had responded to her challenge to put on shorts and show off my legs. This is how much that girl watches me. There's only like 13 views on the video. But my legs are out there. Okay. So I've had a few of these. I'm really filling up. So I might have to have a cigarette before I attempt the lettuce wraps. I definitely want to do at least one, because I know that most of these mukbangers, at least the ones I watch, and the anorexic, they don't know how to properly eat lettuce wraps. they're very confused by this concept. So I at least want to get one out of the way. To show them what it looks like. Because apparently none of these people were educated by their families. They all come from money. All of them come from fairly decent circumstances. I know they like to really stretch out the hard times and make that their story arc. But most of those hard times were based on their own behavioral problems. It's a different pair of jean shorts from last night. You can tell because I don't have this slit up the front. Okay, let's have a cigarette before I go into the list route. It's okay to take breaks when you're eating things. I already took my potassium this morning. This is empty now, but basically it's kind of like a fizzy drink that has like little to no taste. It's just a little salty. But it brings my potassium level back up to speed so that I'm not on death's door, which is nice. It's good. It's good. But yeah, with that one dude I just had to block, not appropriate to come into my live stream where I'm showing off my Chinese lunch and ask me if I'm into one night stands. What is your purpose for being here other than to troll? Fucking gross. Can you imagine? I haven't even done the coverage of like everybody talking about Salah and the revenge porn that Kybella sent out to all the React channels. I'm too small to receive such information. But that obviously was not the original intention that he sent the picture to you to for, you know, and you're such a slimy grifter, Kybella. Do I think you were sleeping on LA streets last winter? No. Even if, okay, let's say, even if you found one of these organizations, like the volunteer organizations that are there on site all night. And let me digress. Hey, Clara. Yo, Jenna. Just saying hello. Take care, lady. Well, thank you for dropping in. I hope you watch it back. I hope you watch it back. So here's a story from 2018. In 2018, I was trying to separate myself from a very toxic Our Revolution leader who ultimately ended up groping me on election night, and we had legal disputes over this, and he was stalking me up and down the state. It was a mess, right? But one of the fights that we had before we even got to that point was that he was trying to convince all of our volunteers to go up to LA to work with Carlos Marroquin and Mel Tilikanartney, who had some sort of help operation, which they're constantly rebranding, they're constantly trying to raise money for, and every single one of these things are a grift. At this time, we had something like an 8-mile encampment of homeless people on the Santa Ana River. And I said, why aren't you working with our local activists to help our immediate need rather than driving up there just to get live streaming? Anyway, I know at least one of the volunteers did it, and it basically resulted in homeless tourism. You set up your own tent in their space, so you're taking up their space on the cement, and you live there so that you can experience it firsthand. Very exciting, right? How are you helping the homeless by doing that? Mel was also low-key, allegedly accused of sexual harassment of like 3 different volunteers. And I got that from 3 independent sources who did not know each other. So I'd say that's pretty solid. But they kept coming up with more and more bullshit to fundraise up in LA. And nobody really understands where the money totally went or what happened. I even had like a family friend call me in the middle of the night and asking me questions about Carlos Marroquin. I've had people throughout my life saying, what's wrong with this guy? I can't tell you because I never got close to him. I could tell he was shady from the start, especially when he started following my Facebook calendar and making sure that he was sending his own fucking eyes and ears to observe me at every one of the events. Fucking weirdo. He was doing that on behalf of the Our Revolution leader. It's pretty messed up. See, Chantel, life can be difficult too. But at least I've lived it. At least I have the real volunteer experience. She keeps trying to say that she volunteered, but she doesn't really know how to even describe it. She brought that up again after I did a live stream saying, why don't you just get like one of these claw things that you pick up trash with? You can go down in front of your building with some big trash bags Start cleaning that area up and beautifying your community. Next thing you know, she's talking about, yeah, I really want to get into some volunteerism. That's like the simplest way you can volunteer, girl. And given that she has such a bully complex and wants to be in charge, maybe, girl, you should be the organizer of the effort and say, trash pickup day on this date, we will bring these supplies. We expect you to bring these supplies for yourself. I used to work at a Vans office and had a manager that was a total grifter and made all the fit models uncomfortable, as well as his direct reports. We finally got him out. That derailed my career. I've had the same thing happen, Clara, where like you try and call out the wrongdoing in an office environment and they immediately target you. It might take like a year or so, but they will get you out. I'm sorry that happened to you. I'm sorry that happened to you because I know how much it sucks. I still have two friends from my most toxic workplace who they're all on the edge of their seat to figure out if our old boss was actually fired or if that's just a rumor. Because she's so goddamn toxic, and that's a reflection of the company. You know, if she can't relate to her team, she has problems with everybody on her team, then the problem is her. Because a lot of us are actually more educated than she is and more credentialed, right? Preach, honey. You tell me, Clara. Letting some things digest before I do one lettuce wrap. Because that's about all I got in my gut. Is one lettuce wrap. But I do want to do like a demonstration of lettuce wrap. Right? When Eugenia Cooney had lettuce wraps at the that restaurant in Disney World. I can't remember what it's called. It's like it's not Sam the Sailor. It's like something like that though, right? So they go in there. They have sushi and they had lettuce wraps. And rather than knowing how to actually make a lettuce wrap, she just like picked a little bit of the chicken pieces with her chopsticks and pretended to eat them. Girl, it's not how you make a lettuce wrap. Hilarious. Um, Obviously she's got an eating disorder, and so she probably can't even have that kind of food right now. She probably has to be completely rehabilitated, starting with like soups and stuff. Because I don't know that her digestive system could actually handle full meals at this point. I'm not her doctor. I'm not, diagnosing. I'm not trying to say anything that way. This is just my personal opinion. I'm an entertainment channel that does commentary. But yeah, I mean, like, you don't even know how to make a lettuce wrap, girl? Alright, let's do a lettuce wrap. Ooh. If you haven't seen my karaoke videos, check them out. Man, I had a good time last night. It was fun. It was fun. And you can also see how disabled I am as I hobble across the room while I'm doing Careless Whisper. Careless whisper to a good friend. Okay. I'm just going to do one because I really don't have the space here for more than one. It's got a sauce too. I think that's going to be a little too messy. Let me think about this. Okay, so basically, you take your lettuce leaf, you scoop up some of the chicken, put it inside the lettuce leaf, so it's like a lettuce taco, y'all. Get your chicken in there. Okay. Then you wrap up your lettuce leaf. Hopefully you do it in such a way that you are not going to lose any of your insides. Right? Mm-mm-mm. No rice. No lo mein. A low-key Chinese lunch. Sure, my wontons were fried, but I only had a couple of them. This is what a lettuce wrap looks like, Chantal. Expand your palate. Try oysters on half shell. Try actual sushi. Don't be so goddamn podunk that all you're doing is eating fucking fast food. Alright, y'all. I did what I set out to do. Here's your lettuce wrap. This came open and got all over the lettuce. Not a terrible thing, but it's not what was supposed to happen. And with that, I will wrap up Lunch with Jenna. Hope you all have a great day.